Hello, folks. Today is Friday, January 31st, 2025. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. There's quite a lot of stuff, some good news, some bad news, but first, let's kind of catch back up with a little GTA 6 rumor roundup. We haven't done this in a while, and I know people are thirsty for news. Just a couple little interesting tidbits to wet your whistle. Some of this stuff, honestly, just floating around Reddit, but interesting, like I said. So right now, this is the top running for the actress playing Lucia, one of the main protagonists for GTA 6. There's been speculation for months and months about who's playing the main characters. It's been pretty tight-lipped. People here are guessing that it's Manni L. Perez. I don't really, I'm not familiar with her work or anything like that, but it does seem like a lot of people are dead set on her being the actress, or at least the likeness. Look, I don't know for sure. This is just rumors and speculation at this point, but it was floating around and I figured we'd share that. Also, GTA 6 maybe or maybe not being locked at 30 frames per second on console. A former Rockstar Games employee, Mike York, I believe an animator, went on a podcast and just kind of talked a little bit, kind of speculated a little bit about Grand Theft Auto 6. And he suggested, he kind of like guesstimated that Rockstar is aiming for a rock solid 30 FPS, not a 60 FPS. Look, we have no way of knowing. I mean, he's speculating. I don't think he knows for sure. Still, the podcast or whatever it was taken down, meaning it definitely pissed off Rockstar. And I think that's like not confirming that it's going to be 30 FPS or 60 FPS or anything like that, really. But it did get some headlines, so I think it was worth acknowledging. Look, do I think GTA 6 is going to be like 4K 120 frames per second? No, absolutely not. And I think that people expecting that, unfortunately, are going to get a dose of reality. I would very much like it to be 60, but again, we're just going to have to wait and see whenever the hell this game actually comes out. And then, on a cooler side, just things I thought were worth sharing. These are very interesting, fun little comparisons. We've been doing a lot of graphical comparison stuff on the channel lately, and just kind of reminiscing and see how far we've come with graphics. And thankfully, this user on Reddit, GodSXM, has been posting fun comparisons of stuff just from GTA 5 to GTA 6 that looks like a massive jump. Like, look at the bottles here. Obviously, it's a trailer, it's a cutscene. Will the details in the game be that detailed, like those bottles? Every single one being different? I don't know, but people are hopeful. And another fun one is that same user just posted, like, this is what 12 years can do. And it's characters in GTA 5, like created characters in GTA 5 in a convenience store, kind of directly recreating a shot from the original GTA 6 trailer. And yes, I'd say that 12 years can make a difference. We have potentially come a long way if GTA 6 actually looks like this in-game. And last but certainly not least, in this little rumor fun thing roundup for GTA 6, the Trevor actor went on record about the game. Stephen Ogg, the actor, the voice, the face behind Trevor Phillips from GTA 5, said that he would like to be in GTA 6. He did an interview with Screen Rant, and his quote is as follows: "It would be fun if Trevor appeared in it just to be killed at the beginning." First of all, I do think that's brilliant. I think that also perfectly reads the room of like stuff GTA has done in the past. And I think that would be funny because I would absolutely be happy to kill Trevor, like very happy, maybe too happy. He continued though, I think that would be cool because it also acknowledges the fans of like, hey, thank you, pass the torch, stomp Trevor's head in, and sort of put an end to that and allow a new generation to take over. Cool, that's very nice. It's also funny and also hopeful and looking towards the future. How nice and refreshing. I would love to see Trevor in GTA 6, but hey, who knows? He seems like somebody that belongs in Florida, like he is Florida man. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, small things, like I said, that kind of add up to some interesting things. So if you want to check out any of that, it's all linked in the description down below, all my sources and stuff. Yeah. Next up, believe it or not, they said it couldn't be done, but I mean, with what Microsoft has been doing, it makes sense. But now, officially, Forza Horizon 5 has been announced for PlayStation 5. Yep. You heard it right. You can wishlist it on PlayStation now. Like, seriously, this is releasing in the spring. And while I know Microsoft has been upfront about releasing more games on PS5, this one still just like, surprised me for a second. I was like, whoa, holy shit. Forza's big, man. This is like one of their big tentpoles. So it's very interesting to see. Also, these games are great. So more people playing them. I'm glad that some people will finally see what I've been raving about for years. Also, a new God of War rumor floating around. This comes from scooper Daniel Richman, who has done a lot of like scooping on the movie side, entertainment side in the past and stuff like that. Look, it's all rumors, speculation, inside sources, not confirmed or not, but he suggests that the next God of War game is going to be set in like Egyptian mythology. He cites specifically that like in the world of Hollywood right now, a big video game studio is casting Middle Eastern actors for like this big new unannounced AAA title. And he says, and I quote, "It's likely to be the next God of War that explores Egyptian mythology." Okay, I mean, it's an easy guess either way because for years, things have pointed to ancient Egypt. Fans have speculated for years. It had been acknowledged that it was an idea, I think, before God of War 2018. Either way, it's still something I'd like to see. But the question I wanted to ask you guys is, would you want to see Kratos after Ragnarok heading to ancient Egypt? Like the Norse mythology thing is done. That's a wrap. I feel like Kratos' story is kind of like weirdly wrapped up in some ways. So my potentially very bad idea, my fan casting thing here right now is seeing, I mean, it was very cool to like have this massive time jump and then have God of War 2018 where it's like, oh my God, he's old. And sometimes the mystery of not knowing what the character went through to get to that point is satisfying, yes. But at this point, like the doors are open, you know, that story has been told, it's cool. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of like how Kratos got from God of War 3 Kratos to God of War 2018 Kratos. And maybe he traipsed along and passed through, you know, ancient Egypt mythology before landing in Norse world. Look, again, this is just a rumor. This is all speculation. Like I've put way too many words into this already, but that's my weird idea. I'd love to know yours and where you really want to see the God of War series go. Now, before we keep going, look, chances are you're like me. You're online all day, whatever you're doing, whether you're working, browsing, having fun, downloading, whatever. And the reality is the internet isn't always safe from like malware, phishing attacks, password attacks, malvertising, ransomware. There's so much stuff that can go wrong. So it's good to be protected. And that's where our sponsor of today's video, NordVPN, comes in. Whether you're outside using public Wi-Fi on your phone or you're at home on your own internet, NordVPN is simple. You switch it on and then you're protected. But all your data stays safe behind a wall of next generation encryption. They have tons of VPN servers all around the world, so you have choice. And also NordVPN offers threat protection. You just switch that on and then your device is protected from malicious sites and downloads and trackers, intrusive ads, and just bad stuff that can pop up. Look, you see it in the news, there are always security breaches, or maybe you just play fast and loose online. You click on stuff that you don't know where it's gonna lead. It is best to be protected, and NordVPN offers a ton of features. I couldn't even cover them all here, but it's simple to set up on all your devices, whether it's your phone, your laptop, your PC, whatever. You don't have to be a computer genius. So if you do want to check it out, every purchase of a 2-year NordVPN plan will get an exclusive big discount plus 4 additional months free. All you got to do to get it is go to nordvpn.com/gameranks or click the link in the description down below. Again, that's for an exclusive big discount and 4 additional months free. nordvpn.com/gameranks, and big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the news. Next up, more changes at BioWare. They did experience layoffs a couple of months back, and we did know that after Dragon Age the Veilguard, most of those people were moving on to Mass Effect 5. But with that, it seems like there was another round of layoffs, a lot of people leaving the studio. And the official statement, reading from IGN, is that the studio is now taking the opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work. Given this stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA. So the way I read this is that Dragon Age the Veilguard is finished, and obviously we reported last week that it didn't sell as much as they were hoping. It seems like all the DLC, content plans, and stuff have wrapped up for that. And while yes, people are moving on over to Mass Effect 5, it seems like Mass Effect 5 is still so very much in the early stages that they don't need armies and armies of people working full on it yet, so now some people are leaving. Does that spell trouble for BioWare? A lot of people are reading the tea leaves as more and more people are no longer with the studio. But that's the newest update with that. Obviously, like a legacy, like legendary development studio. It has changed over the course of years, yes, but still, that RPG pedigree is something that many gamers remember fondly. So we'll just have to wait and see where this actually goes. Also, Sony axed the 60 FPS Bloodborne thing. Yes, Lance McDonald actually just posted this morning at ManFightDragon. You know, he's the guy who has done cool technical stuff like this. He just tweeted on February 21st, 2021, I created and released a patch for Bloodborne, which makes the game run at 60 FPS. Today, I received a DMCA takedown notification on behalf of Sony Interactive Entertainment asking that I remove links to the patch I posted on the internet, so now I've done so. Still, we thank Lance for his incredible work. If you've never seen videos of Bloodborne at 60 FPS with this patch, it's a technical marvel, yes, but also it's just cool to see Bloodborne like that. It's very much a treat for the eyes, a relief for the eyes. I'm wondering what took Sony so long. I mean, this has been around for a while and now they came down on it. Either way, still, that's something. But after this, let's pivot to some good news. In terms of trailers and stuff, first of all, The Sims is back. Yes, I believe it's like the 25th anniversary of this. I am so old. I'm getting old. But yeah, The Sims 1 and 2 now has been re-released on like EA's thing and also Steam. It's called the Birthday Bundle. It packages the original Sims 1 and 2 with all the content and some additional birthday content. And it's going to be on like all the PC platforms, like I said, as of today. And it's $40. You know, they're very old games, so that price might not be for everybody. But as someone who grew up with the original Sims, this is a fun reason to jump back in for a little nostalgia. Honestly, I just want to see it on my Steam Deck. I'm going to mess around with that. Just one thing I am hoping to see is how these perform, how these run, because, you know, as Sims has grown and expanded, some people that are casual fans that like want to play on their computers didn't necessarily have computers that could really run it very well. So I'm hoping that at the very least, like this new Sims 1 and 2 can run on a potato. It should at this point. And I mean that because there are some people that are going to be excited about this re-release and this marketing sweep that don't have a gaming PC. Also, in terms of new trailers, check out this like technically re-announcement trailer for 83. This is like a tactical PvP shooter based on accessible realism. This looks really cool. It's in like a conflict in 1983, inspired by Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. Very cool things to be inspired by. This kind of is giving me like Hell Let Loose adjacent, if you've been into that, but I don't know, I just like what I'm seeing here. So if you want to check out that full trailer, it's linked below. And also don't miss a game I very much enjoyed last year, more than a lot of people, Rise of the Ronin. It's a PlayStation exclusive, but now it's dropping on Steam March 10th. And of course, the new releases for this week, first is Eternal Strands, something that was not on my radar at all, just a third-person action adventure game, but reviews and also Steam reviews and stuff like that have been really positive. Apparently it's just got some cool gameplay systems to it, so now my interest is peaked. Also, Spider-Man 2 has released on PC. We did a quick before you buy, some first impressions of it. It mostly performed really well, but we did have some crashing issues that we hope are sorted out. Still, once it's tweaked, it's probably going to end up being a pretty decent port, so yeah. Also, I see the comments sometimes. I go through comments when I can, and I'm sorry we have ignored this for so long, but yes, Hello Kitty Island Adventure is out, and folks are loving it. It does look like it honestly might be Game of the Year material, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. The year has only just begun. And speaking of games that are very, very similar, Sniper Elite Resistance is also out this week. If you're into sniping, headshots, exploding Nazis' heads and stuff like that, it's more. I'd say wait for a sale because it's a lot like just more Sniper Elite 5, but still, it's a good time. I think they just have constructed some really, really good games here. And also, don't miss, in terms of new old games coming back, Dino Crisis 1 and 2 has been kind of cleaned up and released on GOG, DRM free, just like how they've been doing with the original Resident Evil games. They did it with Metal Gear Solid. It's now available. It's accessible for most people and very, very cool. So now you can jump in and see what some of us have been talking about and raving about for basically our entire lives. Also, last but certainly not least, we got, I just wanted to point this out. I want to know what you guys think. Netflix put out the title intro sequence for the Devil May Cry anime. Look, it's not the first Devil May Cry anime or project or anything like that, and it's from the people behind Castlevania, so this could go either good or bad. I don't know if this is going to be any good, but the title sequence intro is cool, and it features Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. And honestly, I'm loving that. Is it a nostalgia play? Yes, but I think it totally works. For some people, it might not, but I've been playing Devil May Cry from the beginning, and I'd say if you didn't tell people this was Limp Bizkit and maybe you took out Fred Durst's annoying voice, I think just the guitar riff fits and is perfect for Devil May Cry. This is just a weird move. I don't know if this series is going to be any good, but now at least I'm paying attention. Maybe I'm crazy though. I don't know. I put this on social media. Like I posted it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. And people were like, I don't know, man. But hey, I just can't help but hope that things turn out good. But that's been a lot of gaming news. It was a busy week. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about everything, from all the random little GTA things we wanted to talk about to God of War in Egyptian mythology. Hopefully he punches some mummies. I don't know. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's talk about new releases and of course what you're currently playing. There's going to be a pinned comment. Just drop in there what you're playing. Like I always say, just for our research purposes, it does help when we make videos what we know you're actually playing, new or old. But thank you for coming around here every Friday to get caught up on the news. Been doing it for like a million years now. I never miss. So thanks. Clicking the like button's all you got to do. It helps us out. We appreciate that. But you can find me on social media, Instagram, the Friends Per Second podcast, at Jake Baldino, whatever. But thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Pizza's on me.